This is The Real Weight, where we explore how your life and your physiology are connected. I'm Frank Dominic. After the last episode, a question usually comes up pretty quickly. If the body is responding to the environment it's in, then what does actually supporting the body look like? Because most people think they already know the answer to that. They think eat clean, eat less, cut certain foods out, be more disciplined. That's what most people have been taught healthy means. But when you look at it from a physiological standpoint, a lot of those approaches don't actually support the body. They control it. And there's a difference. Control tries to override signals. Support works with them. Let me give you an example. Hunger. Most people are trying to manage hunger by suppressing it, eating in a way that keeps them from feeling it, or ignoring it altogether. But hunger is a signal. It's communication. It's the body saying, I need energy. If that signal keeps getting ignored or overridden, the body doesn't just eliminate it, it adjusts around it. And those adjustments show up later. They show up as cravings, overeating, low energy, instability. That's not a discipline issue. That's a communication issue. And this is where something like GLP-1 medications and peptides come into the conversation. Because what they're doing in large part is turning that signal down, reducing appetite, reducing the urge to eat. And that can create weight loss, but it doesn't necessarily mean the body's needs have changed. It means the signal has been quieted. And if the signal is turned down, but the system still needs energy, you can end up in the same place we talked about earlier. A body that's adapting to less, not necessarily functioning better. Here's another one. A lot of people think eating less automatically improves health. But biologically, chronic undereating is a stress signal. And we talked about this already. Stress changes how the body regulates. It slows things down, conserves. It becomes more cautious with energy. So if someone is consistently underfueling, even if they're eating clean, their body is still operating under pressure. Pressure doesn't create optimal function. Now, this is where things start to get misunderstood because people will say, well, I lost weight doing that before. And that can be true. Short term, it can work. But that short-term result is often coming from the body being pushed into a more stressed, conservative state, less incoming energy, more output, more reliance on stress signaling to keep things moving. So yes, weight can drop, but that doesn't mean the system improved. The question isn't just, did it work? The question is, what did it do to the system? Did energy improve? Did sleep improve? Did digestion improve? Did the relationship with food improve? Or did everything become more controlled, more rigid, more dependent on staying within a narrow structure? That's the difference between results and health. And this is where I want to be clear about something. Because this isn't about saying protein is bad or carbs are the answer or fat is the problem. It's not about turning one thing into the enemy. That's what the diet industry does. This is about understanding how the body actually uses energy. From a physiological standpoint, the body runs best when it has access to fuel, not when it's constantly being restricted. And when fuel is consistently available in a balanced way, the system becomes more stable. Hunger signals normalize. Energy becomes more predictable. Cravings decrease. Recovery improves. That's support, not control. And there's another layer to this that doesn't get talked about enough. The relationship with food itself. When people start labeling foods as good or bad, clean or off limits, they're not just changing what they eat, they're changing how they think. And that mental tension creates stress too. And you see it show up in some ways. Ingredients get swapped out, not because the body can't handle them, but because they've been labeled as something to avoid. So now a food isn't just food anymore. It's either acceptable or something to feel guilty about. And that shift changes your relationship with eating. It makes it more rigid, more controlled, more stressful. So now you have physical restriction and psychological pressure, and they're happening at the same time. And both of these influence the body. This is why a lot of people feel like they're doing everything right, but still not getting the outcome they want because they're following rules without supporting the system. And over time, this disconnect builds frustration. So instead of asking, what foods do I need to cut out? Better question is, what does my body need more of to function well? That question changes everything. It shifts the focus from restriction to support, from control to regulation, from short-term results to long-term function. And when function improves, results will follow. Not because they were forced, but because the system is finally working the way it's supposed to. So if this resonates with you, make sure you're following the show, because we're going to keep breaking down the things that have been misunderstood and reconnecting them to how the body actually works. The next time you think about eating healthy, ask yourself this: am I trying to control my body, or am I supporting it? That answer will tell you a lot. I'll see you in the next episode.